is Sunday evening, 8:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So yes, there's been a change in the time. We've changed the time. We've made it 8:30 p.m. And that's what it's going to be going forward. So I am super excited, as always, to be here live with all of you and waiting for all of you to join in live on the three platforms. So we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and join in whichever of these platforms works for you. So quickly to tell you, I'm Aastha, your happiness coach. For those of you who are here watching me for the first time, and two, work on workplace relations with Aastha is all about your workplace relationship challenges. Anything to do with workplace relationship is what we pick up here in this live show and we talk about it, right? So drop in a hi as you come in so that I know you are here. Also, as we talk, whatever comes to your mind, whatever you've experienced at something that I say, if you are able to resonate and if something rings a bell, please let me know in the chat box. Okay, and if there's a perspective that you have, do share that. If there's a question that you have, do share that. So just interact, right? Just share whatever comes to your mind. Lovely. So today, what we are going to be talking about is, are you unable to connect informally with your colleagues? And why did this come up? Why I brought this topic? It was basically one of the leaders I was talking to yesterday, and she actually was dealing with this. She said that she wanted to do the work on precisely this aspect, right? And what was it? It was basically where she said that any work related discussion that I have to have, I'm able to do that, which means I have to make a presentation. I've done that in my MBA. If I have to talk to somebody about work, I can do that. But anything before that, anything after that, anything which is kind of informal is a challenge for me. If there's a meeting that's about to get started, and before that everybody's chit chatting, or they're just laughing, I cannot contribute. I feel out of place, right? Or let's say there are team lunches. I can have the one-on-one conversation, but if there are team lunches, I'll be in my own shell and I feel so out of place, wondering what others would be thinking about me. So, and that is so massive for her. And so that informal connect she's not able to create, and that bothered her because it had impact on two levels. She felt that when she starts to speak, because there's a gap and she's not connected to people, so every time when she's in the room, she's talking online, people kind of make fun, or they're like, it's not well received because they're not connected to her. And at the same time, it leaves her very, very disempowered. Anybody who's ever experienced something like this, where you feel that professionally, work related conversations you're able to have, when it comes to exchanging work related communications, you're able to do information. But when it comes to that informal part, becomes a challenge for you. Yeah. And just to share with you, I had this similar thing with me. I had this similar, rather I would say a same challenge as she was sharing with me yesterday. I could absolutely resonate. Back when I started my corporate career, I remember very, very distinctly, it would be a challenge for me to speak to somebody. People would ask me something, I could respond very well. Work related updates, messages, information exchanges, I'll be very good at it. But when it came to those informal interactions, I'd be happy in my group of my friends or two, three, four people. But when it came to those, let's say, interdepartment meetings or the whole office thing, it was a very strange kind of a thing where I was quite an extrovert. I would be anchoring shows. I would be, participating in those office big events. But when it came to the kind of conversations, I would be in my shell. I would become, if I may use the term, an introvert. I would not be comfortable in going and striking a conversation or chit chatting. Yeah, so I had my own comfort zone, right? And it becomes very painful when you start to pull yourself down for this, when you start to think that you don't belong, when you start to think that I'm out of place, people don't like me, or I should be doing this but I'm not able to do this. It becomes a pain. And who inflicts that pain upon you? You yourself. So I just want to talk a couple of points here, two, three things which are very, very fundamental to this. And anybody who's dealing with this, any of you, those of you who are joining in now, is there a connectivity issue? Okay, those of you who are joining in now, uh, let me quickly tell you, we're talking about the informal connections at work. Informal in the sense when it's work related, you talk, you're confident, you're able to do it. But when it comes to the informal, chit chatting, connecting with people, that's not your cup of tea. If any flavor of it is what you've experienced, then this one's for you. So do go ahead and share with me, okay? And let me know if you are here. Okay, great. So, I think fundamentally it boils down to, like I say every time, to what are the beliefs that you carry for yourself. This is not something which has happened overnight. Most of the cases, this is something which you're carrying maybe from your childhood. Okay, so when you reflect back, you go back in time, you'll see that at some point maybe this started to happen, right? And there's some belief that you're carrying about yourself, first of all about yourself, which refrains or which kind of brings that resistance, or the whole doubt and that question mark whether I'm able to do it, should I be speaking. A whole lot of things can happen there, right? For me, the belief was I'm not good enough. So I think the belief always gave me the thoughts that if I speak, will it be good enough? Will it be intelligent enough? Will the conversation be interesting? Will something I say be boring, or will people like it? So the constant judging of how I'm going to perform, everything became like a performance. And that's very painful, because then you kind of disconnected with who you are. You are not being yourself. You're not, what's here doesn't come out, because you are always manipulating. You're trying to put up something which is accepted by others, because I'm not good enough. Now you need to figure out what is the belief that you hold for yourself, because your beliefs are giving you your actions and behaviors. So if you are not able to strike that conversation when it comes to work, it's a specific thing that you need to talk about. It's something that you've worked on, right? आपको पता है, आपने वो काम किया है. It's easy for you to communicate, and it's limited. This is what I need to say. This is where it ends. Finish. Presentation done. Let me leave. Comfortable, like more or less, right? But the informal thing becomes little tricky in such scenarios. So if the belief is I'm not good enough, or how people are going to perceive me, then that's what I'm thinking all the time. Then to come up with something, because there is no certainty, I don't know what I'm going to say, how will it land with other people, and therefore I refrain from doing that. Yeah, so at the core of it, if it bothers you, at the core of it is your belief system. So the first step would be to be able to see, to do the work where you're actually figuring out, identifying what is it that holds you back, right? And then number two, to be okay with it. There's been a huge shift, I would say almost a transformation that I have experienced from what I used to be to who I am today. Today I can strike that conversation, I'm comfortable. And yet, let me tell you, it's a dual situation. So while I have gotten comfortable in having those informal conversations, in striking those conversations, in maybe entering a room full of people and walking up to somebody and talking, still I catch myself getting uneasy even today. Still, at times, if you ask me, given a choice, I would prefer uh, being at home alone to myself and reading my book with my, whatever, just being in my space, right? Now the question is, can I be okay with it? Can I accept myself for not being excited about going to that office dinner party? Or if I'm going there, can I be okay with maybe speaking only this much and maybe just observing and enjoying the whole conversation? Yeah. So it essentially boils down to not what people are going to think about you. Trust me, people are not thinking. They are so busy in their own lives. But it boils down to what you are thinking about yourself. You're not accepting yourself for who you are. You constantly want to be somebody who you're not, but you think you're supposed to be. So if I'm not good enough, then I'm supposed to be good enough. And at least the world should not come to know that I'm not good enough. So therefore, I must pretend. If I can't do it, I must pretend. I must try to do. And if I can't do it, let me get out of it too. Let me try to avoid those situations. Comfortable, right? So I think fundamental one, there's a belief which is governing you. Your beliefs are giving you your actions and behaviors. So at the source of it, what is that belief? What is that barrier that's holding me back? And understanding that it's just a belief, it's not the reality, it's not the truth. If I think I'm not good enough, it's as good as reality for me. But to be able to make that distinction that this is just a belief that I have been living all my life. And when I'm able to make that distinction, like make that distinction not theoretically, but within me, I get it. I get it that yes, this is just a belief. सच नहीं है, केवल एक धारणा है जिसे मैं जी रही हूँ सच मान के. And that is governing me. When I get that, and then when I'm able to accept myself that okay, this is how I've been, I feel uncomfortable in those informal conversations, in those situations. I'm not able to strike those conversations. I'm okay with it. I'm ready to accept myself for who I am. When you are able to accept, then you can look at going beyond that barrier, which is what happened with me as well. So the moment then you're able to bring that awareness to that situation, that okay, right now again I'm getting uneasy. I'm feeling, that this is not my cup of tea. Can I move out of here? It's just not happening. And in that moment, the awareness helps me make an alternative choice, which is what, okay, not necessary that I have to participate or I must say something which is exciting, which is humorous, which is a certain level, but can I just calm down? Can I just stay here? And can I just participate in what's going on by just being there in the moment? Because understand, when I am within my fear and within my thought process, which is triggered by my belief, then I'm not there in that moment. Then I'm gone in that world of, oh my God, what will I do? I can't participate. I'm in the wrong place. I'm out of place. I can't do this. Do I even belong here? I'm good for nothing, etc., etc. You start, and all the sensations and everything happens. It's just a repeat pattern. But when you're aware, when you catch yourself, and that happens with practice. So when you catch yourself that, oh, okay, again, I'm going there. I'm just feeling that uneasiness in the crowd, right? The moment awareness comes in, you're like, okay, hold on. Is there a real fear? Is that a real threat? A life threatening fear? Really, something is there? No, nothing. It's just here. So, what can I do here? And maybe you can just stay, just be, just stay calm. And when you stay calm, when you come back, maybe you can breathe. Breathing helped me massively, massively. If only you can breathe, because breathing brings you in the moment. It's happening right now. So when you get into the moment, that's when you can see, okay, how can I now respond to it, to this situation? So I can just stay calm. Okay, what is this X person saying? Oh, this is how I responded. Can I just smile here? No problem. When you start to get comfortable and more accepting of the way you are and the way you are not, I'm telling you, the whole thing starts to change. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't require you to become somebody, it just requires you to come back, to return to who you really are, to get comfortable in your own skin. And I was reading Robin Sharma, and he says the biggest fear for him, he doesn't fear death. And he says the biggest fear for me used to be if I was asked to speak in front of 10 people. Robin Sharma, right? 10 people. And he said, I built my muscle. I brought myself to be able to speak in front of large gatherings. I got comfortable in addressing those large audiences, but still, that's not my sweet spot. If you ask me, even today, he says, I would prefer being alone. He calls himself an introvert, but he says I'm okay with it. So it's just about, can you be okay with who you are? Not every person is going to be a certain way, like a who has created that standard way or the supposed to way? You. Me. For me, I had created that. For you, you've created. Is that the universal fact that that's how people are supposed to be? They must enjoy, they must participate, they must speak like this? No. As long as I'm okay and I'm comfortable with the way I am, I can accept myself for who I am. That's when things will start to get relaxed. That's when the whole fear, whatever it is, will loosen its grip over you, and you will see that you'll be more relaxed. And maybe over time, for me, over time, I just got comfortable in being wherever I am, in speaking my mind, in asserting, in saying that no, I don't feel like joining right now, or I feel like doing it now. And when I started to say no, I don't feel like joining right now, it gave me instances and opportunities where I actually felt like joining. And not necessarily I was jumping or chirping and talking all the time. I was just good, happy being there. That's it. Yeah. So I think okay, I see some comments here. Thank you all for joining in. Hi Prabhakar, changing our perception. Okay. Legs on. Hi. Thank you so much. Hi Mukta. Good evening. Getting out of comfort zone. Okay. The book of Robin Sharma is the Everyday Hero Manifesto. I think a beautiful book, very, very powerful. Where there is a fear, there is your homework. Very well said. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Allow yourself to be completely afraid if you want to conquer your fear. This I just read somewhere today. I think what you shared with me, Mukta, about the whole awareness thing, Amit is the name. Something from his page I was reading, and that's where he also talks about letting that fear, not resisting, and just be completely fearful or afraid, and something around that. Yes, so that resonates. Yeah, great. So yeah. Uh, so that's pretty much it. We've been living the beliefs that we've been living, and we've the beliefs give us our fears. And for a lot of us, like I realized I had never learned to speak my mind because of whatever belief I had, and therefore a fear. And for me, the learned response became, hold on to whatever is, just keep it to yourself, not speak up. The world needs to see a certain view of me, a certain Aastha only. So sometimes that also impacts, that we have created such a big facade around us, which I think I had done, like a complete facade, a pretense, and I was so scared of that falling apart. Like people cannot see the not so good side of me, which to me was also a possibility if I speak and it didn't turn out to be as good. So imagine the kind of suffocation it becomes. And the funny part is, the interesting part is, we are the ones doing it to ourselves. Yeah. So I realized for me, the whole shift has only happened because of awareness and because of the acceptance of, okay, this is who I am, which has been a big challenge. It wasn't easy. I kept going back to no, 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 not acceptable. But yes, by and large, now this is. And now it just makes me feel comfortable. If I don't want to be a part of something and I want to be alone, can I just be okay with it? That doesn't mean I'm a misfit. So those are all labels we put to ourselves, we attach. So, so yeah, I mean, if you think you're not able to connect informally, consider that's also, a belief that you're carrying. I can't do this. I just can't do this. I'm not good at this. I'm a misfit here. Whatever language that you use, whatever that language is that resonates with you, but that's something you've created for yourself. And guess what? That's exactly what happens there, because that's the energy you're carrying. That's what you're thinking constantly. And obviously, your actions and behaviors are going to be in sync. They cannot be any different, right? So the work remains the same, and the awareness, the acceptance, it all remains the same, boils down to the same thing. It's not a problem. Please stop inflicting that pain on yourself. It's not a problem. It's just that two things. One, we are a certain way and can we be okay with it? And two, over the years, we've lived that pattern again and again, again and again, so much that that's become the reality. And now, if I just want to reconnect, because I think fundamentally we all love connecting with people. The ways could be different, intensities could be different, तरीके अलग अलग हो सकते हैं, पर हम सब पसंद करते हैं. Yes, the things could vary. For me, maybe having a one-on-one conversation, a deep conversation with somebody gives me more fulfillment. For somebody, being a part of the group and enjoying and laughing gives them more fulfillment. So, can I identify my type or what gives me more fulfillment and be absolutely fine? Enjoy that rather, and not penalize myself for not being happy and excited about the other one. I think that's all that I can say. This has been my realization. This has been my journey. So even today, like I said, I catch myself getting uneasy sometimes, feeling out of the place in a gathering, and that's where I make a conscious choice. And now that I'm here, what is what is it that I can do which is within my limits, gives me comfort, and I do that, and then maybe I can leave if it's absolutely essential. Otherwise, I choose. Yeah. So I think that's about it. Great. So I hope, thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for joining in. The live sessions are always very, very exciting, and I definitely get those perspectives from all of you. Even if you hear this out, watch this later, and if you have a certain perspective, you've had a certain experience, you have gone through something similar, or you know of somebody who's gone through something similar, please go ahead and share the experience, any question around it. Feel free to connect with me on any of these platforms, and do let me know what was your takeaway, and maybe how you've gone through the journey if that's what you were dealing with, right? I'm going to see you next Sunday with something more. I just feel so amazing that there are so many different perspectives that come in as I interact with different people and as things happen in my life. And I'm glad I'm able to share those with you. So that makes up for all the topics that we have. So yes. Great, lovely. Have a great, great week ahead. Wishing you all the love, all the happiness, and a beautiful journey. Have a great week ahead. Till next Sunday, I'm going to see you then. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mukta. Thank you, Prabhakar. Thank you, because I can't see who's there. Mukta, I know is there. So thank you, all of you who are here live right now, and those of you who joined in. Bye bye. See you all.